Hi guys, Jess here from the Scrappy Sisters. So today I am trying out my watercolour palettes along with my aqua pens. These aqua pens are amazing. So they're like a paintbrush on the end, but the stick part, the tube part, is filled with water. So I don't actually need to have a glass of water there to clean the brushes or to add to the watercolours. I just squeeze down near the brush end and some of the water will come out. So I really loved using these to paint up this watercolour picture. They were so easy to use and just, it was amazing. I've got 3 there you can see, so 3 different sized brushes. I used the green one the whole time because it was the skinniest, thinnest, pointiest brush. So I continue doing this for a little while. I just speed this right up so you don't have to sit there and watch too much of what I'm doing. I highly recommend giving these aqua brushes a try. I just got cheap ones just to try out first to see if they were any good, but they were amazing, so definitely worth investing in. You can also see there off to the side I've got a paper towel. I just use that to clean up the brush and swap colours. So I just squeeze to let some water out and run the brush back and forth onto the paper towel until it comes out clear, and then I'm ready to move on to the next colour. I did notice as I kept going, as you can imagine, when you squeeze something, a little bit more goes back up as well. So the water did start to change colour in the tube after a little while, but it didn't really affect my watercolouring, and when I thought the water had got a little bit too brown, I just emptied it out and filled it up again. So simple. And it took a long time to empty out that tube. Like I wasn't constantly back and forth, filling it up with water. I think I only changed the water once in the entire page of watercolours, so it was pretty efficient. I was really happy with that. So I just sat there for the afternoon and fiddled away painting this up, using all different colours and spreading the watercolour around. Try not to get it too thick because you don't want it to smudge. And then I got a black and white sheet that hadn't been coloured yet, and I'm going to alternate those behind my rectangles. So the rectangles there, I used the Silhouette Cameo to cut out all those wonky rectangles, and I'm going to cut these up into rectangles to fit behind the black and white and the coloured sheet, and I'm just going to stick those any which way all over behind those cut out rectangles. So I hope that makes sense. You can see what I'm doing anyway, to try and make a bit of a pattern. I'm not going to alternate or anything like specifically pattern them, just any which way. Might have a couple of coloured ones here, then a black and white one, and I just use plain old ordinary sticky tape to stick those onto the back. Mostly because I didn't want to use double-sided tape because I didn't need the double-sided part. Masking tape would probably have been better because it's not shiny and rubbery, but I really didn't find any problems with using the sticky tape. I have nothing to say about that. I just used sticky tape because I thought it would be easier connecting it to the little gaps in between the rectangles. So you can see there it's starting to come together. So I just continued doing this for the whole entire page, and I'll be back in just a second with the whole page done. I was really happy with the way this turned out. It was a little bit busy, but I knew that once I added photographs and things it would tone down a little bit. So my next step was to get some texture paste. And I've just got like an old benefits card, like a credit card, that I just use to scrape onto my spotty stencil there. I didn't want the entire stencil or anything. I just wanted to put a couple of spot clusters, I suppose, around the page. So I didn't plan it. I didn't really overthink it. I just chucked them on any which way. I thought about maybe dyeing the texture paste. I've used the Heidi Shine colours to dye my texture paint. I found that the gold didn't really dye it very well, but the other colours dyed it fine. But I decided I just wanted to stick with white or It's a tiny little bit off-white when you can see it close up, but I was really happy with the way that looked, and it sort of dulled down the colouring as well in the background, because I was a bit worried that it was a little bit too crazy. So just be careful when you're doing this every which way and wherever that you don't smudge any of the dots you've already done. So I was being super careful when I did those ones in the centre. Now if you've never used texture paste before, it's exactly as it sounds. It's texture paste. So if you have a really thick bit, it'll be quite a large thick dot. If you thin it out lots, it'll just be a little dot. So there I am splatting on my gold Heidi Shine, my most used colour. I absolutely love the gold. And then I lay out how I want this to look. I'd already picked out the embellishments and things I wanted to use because I was quite concerned about having it be too busy and too clustered. So I spent a fair amount of time picking these out. So I didn't record that because it would have been a really long time of you just sitting there watch me look through all of my embellishments. Now I'm just having a bit of a play with how I want these to go together. I don't often use lots of photos on layouts. I usually just use one, maybe two, and this time I just had a series of photos of my little one in the bath, and I wanted to try and use a few of them because they were just so beautiful. I couldn't decide which one I liked the best, so I had to use a couple, and I was really happy with those. And again, I was happy with how having so many photos sort of again toned down, the background there. Because I used the gold Heidi Shine, I kept a lot of gold in my embellishments, and I also kept the black to go with the black and white other pieces as well. So I've gone ahead and glued that all on. I know you didn't see that, but I laid it all out and then just glued it all on with my double-sided tape, and I'm now just PVA gluing tiny little hearts on. So I often use enamel dots. I'm not going to use enamel dots this time. I'm just sticking on some glitter hearts. They're black glitter hearts and gold glitter hearts, and they were punched out using the Stampin' Up! Confetti punch, I believe. I'm not actually 100% sure. My sister did those and gave them to me, but I'm pretty sure they were the confetti punch. So I was really happy with the way this ended up turning out, and I used this as part of a prompt competition for a Facebook group that I'm a part of. They gave us a bathroom prompt and colours and all of that, so I used that to enter into that. So that's why I did the wonky rectangles actually, so that they would look a little bit like tiles because it was a bathroom. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed. I hope you liked it. Here are some close-up pictures so you can see the watercolour a bit better, and you can also see the embellishments I did. So like and subscribe, and I hope you enjoy. Thanks guys.